Okay, welcome everybody. We got the big screen. We got the big screen here. Yes, this is gonna be so amazing so far. Now, I guess that everybody wants to know what the actual review of the 2024 postseason of UWB playoffs, baby. Well, let's go through this. This postseason is not a normal postseason. You don't think it's a normal postseason? Then it's not a normal postseason at all. It's a okay. You know what? Let me actually roll this tape again. Okay. Welcome everybody. My name is Jack Vesquins, our playoff coach, and I am here to tell you about or to show you what you've been waiting for. It's time to show who has made it to the playoffs of UWB. Now, this is not your typical playoffs. This is not your typical playoffs. This is not your typical playoffs. Now, this playoffs is different than any other playoffs. Now, I'm going to tell you about this. This playoff is different because it is separated in two different parts. The first part is called the round robin event. This is where teams play a round robin like tournament. They only get to play two games, two different teams, one game each. Yes. Which it depends on if they win or lose. That depends on the direction that they go. And another thing for that is that whoever is the top four teams in that round robin event goes into the second part, which is going to be the final part, which is the last part. This one is the last part of the entire thing. This last part is something that's kind of different because I don't know what we want to call it, but it's called the final showdown, or like the final run. Let's just say the final run, so this way that I don't get copyright. But you know what? That last day, which we call it the championship day, would be those four teams that have qualified from their round robin goes to play into the semifinals. Then if they win both of those games, they go into the championship, and whoever ends up winning those two games in the championship would be the qualified winners. Obviously, it's something similar to you lose twice, you're out. You win twice, you advance. It's that simple. Win twice, you advance. If you lose twice, you're out. You gotta pay attention to this. But if there is a tie, at any given point through the postseason, we have different rules. Now, hear these rules very closely because if any team ties up the series at 1-1, that team that would play against that other team into the round robin, the lower seed team will get the home field advantage. So the team that has the home field advantage would get that home field advantage for that round robin. But hear me out with this tiebreaker. Now, when there's a tiebreaker, we look at the mercy rule or showdowns. Those are advantage. If there's only one of those, and there's an advantage with one of those teams that had that, then they will automatically advance. Now, if a team does not have an advantage, or if they are tied with those showdown wins or victory showdowns, that's what we like to call them, or they get a victory by mercy ruling their opponent, then we will have as two options. The first option of the postseason is that we do is a condensed game, which this condensed game is different than what you guys have been thinking of. This condensed game is different. Now, this condensed game is basically we take the ideas of banana law. Essentially, we look at both games, we take a look to see who has the advantage. And if they do have the advantage, we actually give them that advantage. The most that you can get out of the two games into a condensed game is 7. You cannot get more than 7 because 7 is the most that you can out of a 2-4 in game. Obviously, you can't get 8 and you lose both games, obviously. So if you win the game, if you win the inning, you essentially get a point, no matter what of how many runs that you score. Now, if you end up win together and you end up getting at least 1 run, you both get 1 point. But if you didn't end up tying and nobody scores any points, those points would be 0. That would essentially be added into the game of the condensed game, which that's 2 innings long. And yeah, it's essentially 2 innings long, but it's still the same rules. We do not walk it off into the uh, team that is home. So it's essentially the same 2 innings, but instead of playing that third full game, which can like drag the competition even more, we end up having it to be a 2 inning thing, which hopefully this actually makes it a bit faster for uh, teams to compete. And if the game is still tied, we will go into an ultimate showdown. Now, this is also our second part, because this ultimate showdown will give us that advantage, which essentially is basically the same thing as the showdowns that you see into the regular season. Now, yes, yeah. So that's how that ends up happening. So now, after I just explained to you those rules of the playoffs, now let's go through one by one of what the actual field be like. So at the top here, you're gonna have a seats 1 versus 8 that will be playing up here. Okay, so 1 versus 8 will be playing against each other. So this is the top. Okay, this right over here, like over here, this right over here, at your section, it is going to be seats 3 for 4. Okay, so 3 for 4. So 3 versus 4 will be over here. Now down here, down over here, this will be 2 versus 7. Then over here on this side, right over here, that would be essentially 5 versus 6. Now, you went over here, you go. So if you went over here, let's see. Okay. So I'm going to try to make this to be easy for you guys. So if you win, you're going to go. Okay. So this is the win section. So the win section. Okay. So the win section, you're going to actually go over to here. You're playing whoever ends up losing that section over there. And if you win over here, okay, yeah. So if you win over here, you're gonna play whoever loses over here. Okay. Yeah, so it's a circle type thing. It's kind of hard to explain, but essentially, if you win up here, you're gonna end up playing the loser of this game over here, and whoever ends up winning that game will end up being the qualified winner. Obviously, if a team ends up tying this series, and if there's any type of emergencies or anything that results as a team that's tied, we have a thing which the team that has the better record throughout the season will follow the green. So essentially, if it's tied or if they win, they follow the green. While the team that is considered the underdogs, they have to make sure that they win their game in order to compete and to force their other opponents to go down. Now, obviously, if a team does end up tying the series, now that wouldn't necessarily cast them to get a win. So if there's 2 teams that tie, and we need to figure out who would be that second team at second win will figure that out because essentially you need to win twice in order to advance. Now, if there's ever a tie with that type of stuff, you end up checking to see if there has ever been a showdown to that game. If there is, then you play that showdown. Whoever ends up winning it gets the advance. And if there's no showdown in that game, you have to play as a condensed game, which that condensed game would actually end up giving that team whoever wins that condensed game would end up win on to the next qualification round, which that would be like the champion round. Now, yeah, I mean, I think in like the teams, like if it is tied, which the chances of that happening is actually pretty low because it's not going to really happen unless if it is like somebody gets hurt or there's nobody that's playing or something happens with the weather and it's very bad outside. That's when that will end up happening and we don't replay that game or we don't continue that game. So if there's ever a tie, we will have as a condensed game if there's no clear advantage, no team has 2 wins to move on. We'll do is a condensed game, 2 innings long, and whoever ends up winning that game, if there is a clear winner, then they will move on. Now, if not, and if they do end up going to a showdown, and they do end up winning that, then they go on. We'll just keep on playing until there's a clear winner. Now, of course, it could thunder while we are doing showdowns or a condensed game. Should that does happen, we will figure out a place to finish that game at a different time or a different day, or we come up with a different idea to help different who's actually going to end up winning that game. So this way that we can continue. So without further ado, let's introduce the teams that we had with 12 teams that we had throughout the postseason. So only 8 teams can make it to the postseason. Now, okay, so I am going to pull up Canva. So this way that I can actually tell you what these teams are. Let's see. I want to make sure that I'm still alive anyways. So Canva. Okay. So here we go. So here we go, guys. So our teams. Okay, so we're going to first start with the Aqua Division. Yes, we're going to first start with the Aqua Division. So the Aqua Division, the West Coast, the West region, we had Blaze Reborn, Crimson Cobras, then the Glow Pirates. Then for the North region, we have the Snow Leopards, the Kingdom, and the Forest Butterflies. Now, okay, so this is how the postseason ends up going for the Aqua Division. 2 teams end up being the region, which I'm going to tell you what those 2 teams are right now. The teams that won that region over there would be the Crimson Cobras, and I got to say the Forest Butterflies won that region winner. I believe that they did. Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, I think they did. Let me just double check that real quick. Okay, let me just double check that real quick, guys. Let's see. So Scores. Okay, so this is what I got here. So those teams. Yep, so the teams that actually clinched the region for the Aqua Division is called the Crimson Cobras, the Forest Butterflies. They clinched the regions. Now for the Kennesaw Division. The Kennesaw Division, we had here's the East region. The Radiant Foxes, Hive Crest, Tropical Thunder. In the South region, we had, you can call them either the Enchanted Cougars or the Magic Cougars, the Snowy Wolves or the Mountain Wolves, then the Furs, of course. So who actually won in that region? Well, who won in that conference, the region, which would be the Radiant Foxes and the Kennesaw Mountain Wolves. So congratulations to those teams who actually won the region of the competition. You don't really get an advantage. However, let me give you an idea of these teams. So these teams end up being, okay, so here it is. Okay, so this is what it is. Okay, so the Cobras, they got the number 1 seed. The Crimson Cobras got the number 1 seed. Okay, so nice job by the Crimson Cobras. The Wolves got the number 2 seed. The Furs, they got the number 5 seed, I believe. Yes, they do. They got the number 5 seed. And then the Cougars, they got the number 4 seed team. Yes, they got the number 4 seed team. Okay, so now we got is 2 wild card teams per conferences. Now, who will they be? We got 4 teams in each conference that needs to be decided. Okay, now let's start it off with the Aqua Division. Start it off with the Aqua Division here. The Aqua Division, we had the Aqua Division, we had the Blaze Reborn. Yes, the Blaze Reborn. The Globe Pirates, the Snow Leopards, and the Forest Butterflies. The Kingdom. Okay. Silly me. So Blaze Reborn, Globe Pirates, Snow Leopards, or the Kingdom. Which 2 would advance to the postseason? Okay. I'm going to automatically eliminate 1 team. I'm going to eliminate 1 team. I'm going to eliminate 1 team here. The 1 team that I'm going to eliminate here would be, in fact, the Snow Leopards have been eliminated from the playoffs. Yep, so the Snow Leopards has been eliminated from the playoffs. So now we're down to 3 teams left. Okay, so the team that has been into the playoffs here, the team that has been into the playoffs is going to be the Globe Pirates. They are the first wildcard team into the Aqua Division. Now you got the Blaze Reborn or the Kingdom. who would be into the playoffs. Who would be into the playoffs, guys? Drum roll, please. The Kingdom has made it to the playoffs, baby. Yep, they're about to rule the land. Okay, so yeah, so very interesting. So we got the Globe Pirates in the Kingdom that will join the postseason for 2024. The Globe Pirates is the number 6 seed team, and the Kingdom is the number 8 seed team. Okay, now we got is our last group, the Kennesaw Conference. We got the Kennesaw Conference, and this is very interesting. We got 4 teams here. 4 teams here. The 4 teams here would be, in fact, the Radiant Foxes, the Hive Crest, the Furs, or the Cougars. Well, just like the Aqua Division, sorry, Hive Crest. Sorry, the Hive Crest. You're out. You're eliminated from the playoff convention. So they're eliminated from the playoffs. Now, who is going to be the first team to enter into the postseason? Gotta give up for the Cougars. They end up being the one team that will enter into the playoffs. Now, we got is the Radiant Foxes or the Furs. Who will be into the playoffs is the question, folks. Well, the team that ends up winning into the playoffs, drum roll please, is those party animals that take over the tailgate, and they will be back. Please welcome the Furs, baby. The Furs are into the playoffs. Now, this is how this ends up working out. Okay, so the Cougars are the number 4 seed team, and the number 5 seed team is going to be the Furs. Yeah, baby. So now let's actually talk about these opponents. Now I already told you one of those opponents. Okay, no, they don't play against each other. Silly me. Let's see. So to recap this, at the top up here, it's going to be the Kingdom at the Crimson Cobras. Okay, now over here, it would be the Globe Pirates at the Furs. Down here, it would be the Tropical Thunder at the Kennesaw Mountain Wolves. And then over here would be the Enchanted Cougars at the Forest Butterflies. Well, get ready for the opening round because this is it. This is the game, and we are just about to introduce this first game. The first game of the UWB Postseason of 2024 would in fact be drum roll, please. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go. Pick a number. Pick a number from 1 through 4.
3.
3. Okay, so 3 is the number, and that would be 1, 2, 3. The Wolves would start off with the 2024 playoffs. So it's going to be the Tropical Thunder versus the Wolves. That's game 1. And the Hoots would be the neutral team for this game. Good luck, team. Our next game would be the Furs will take over. Unless if anybody wants to chat down saying the Furs down below, then we will actually do it. Yeah. Well, I'm hearing they calling the party, and you know what? UWB, they're going absolutely crazy. Today's Thursday tailgate, so we're having it to be the triple Thursday party. So we're bringing the Furs to play against Furs will play against the Enchanted Cougars. Okay, yeah, if I think that's correct. Yeah, the Furs. No, the Furs will play against the Glow Pirates. The Furs will play against the Glow Pirates. Yes. So this is called a triple Thursday draft. So UWB automatically just took over. Today is a crazy party animal day, and you know what? Since it's the party animal day and there's 2 banana ball games that's going on at the same time, well, more like 60 minutes of each other. Well, UWB thought it was a crazy idea just to introduce the Furs as the first ever game. Now, if we do end up playing 2 games, we'll have the Wolves be the second game. Now, if not, the Wolves will be the second game they will play the next time that we play with ball. Okay, so we're gonna have the Furs versus the Glow Pirates for this first game. Or should we have the Wolves versus the Thunder? It makes sense. Let's just do the Furs would play against the Go Pirates. That's your first game. If we do play 2 games, we'll have the Wolves playing at home against the Tropical Thunder. If not, then that'll be the next game. Then after that, we will have the Kingdom will be the 3rd game, and then we'll have the Cougars to be the 4th game. Obviously, that's how that ends up happening. The Cougars will be the 3rd game, the Kingdom will be the last game. Okay, so that's how we're going to do that. Now, because if there's ever a postseason and we have 3 teams, 3 individual teams with 3 different people, the Hoots, the Ghost Lake Hoots actually beat the Smokehouse Stainers, so they would be the one who will play in the postseason. Yeah. So, congratulations to all those teams. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching if you popped on, and I'll catch you later. See you guys later.